We're fortunate today to have a visitor, right, who's running for U.S. Congress for the second time, Richard Tisei. He is a Republican. He's running for the 6th Congressional District, which is our district. Currently, that seat is held by Representative Tierney. That may be a name that you are familiar with. And they ran a very close election, just
inches,
just about 2 years ago. It is one of the congressional elections, the one congressional election by most experts in Massachusetts that is the most contested. And I know that Richard's going to talk about his experience and what kind of brought him to the level to go ahead and run, make a congressional run. But he'll be humble, but I'll tell you that he's done some great things. He's not, sometimes you'll see congressional races across the country that don't get the coverage that this race received, even the last congressional race. We're not talking about just getting a couple of interviews on Channel 5 News and whatnot. We're talking CNN, we're talking ABC News, and some of those. So it's a pretty high-profile race. You'll be seeing a lot more of it as it develops from now until next year. So for you juniors, this is a great opportunity to be maybe somewhat at the ground level of this race that we'll build, and you'll hear a lot more about as we get into next year.
Just going around, you're going to meet, the whole name of the game is to meet a lot of people. That can meet 700,000 people over the next few months. But one of the things I really want to do is concentrate on schools, and particularly younger people, because I think what's happening in the country is really important right now, and it's going to affect your future. Not only a year or two from now, but now, a year or two from now, but as you get older and whatever you end up doing, whichever was returned to the life tapes that we had, the country really was frustrated. Everybody in the country was frustrated. Didn't think that America was heading in the right direction. A lot of people were worried, we're such a great country. They were worried that we were losing our greatness. And then we had this thing happen from a history standpoint now, that was the Iranian hostage crisis, where there was a revolution in Iran, and a bunch of the revolutionaries went into our embassy and stole, literally kidnapped all of our embassy personnel. And people thought this would last a day or two. And America, and at the time, America really had never been challenged that much, at least in my lifetime. And all of a sudden, the country was powerless. And it didn't last a day or two; it lasted over a year. And every single night, Americans were just glued to the TV. Everybody was so frustrated; they couldn't believe that America was all our embassy personnel were hostage. We couldn't, the most powerful country in the world couldn't get them back. And it was just, it was sort of like what the atmosphere was. And the economy wasn't good, people didn't have jobs. And this guy came along, Ronald Reagan, who ran for president, and I kind of looked at him and said, you know what, he was talking about a lot of things that made a lot of sense to me, that we should have a strong national defense, and that the government should be limited, it shouldn't be telling everybody what to do all the time. And the government, the size of the government should be smaller. And he attracted me, and that's how I became a Republican. And I actually went down and started volunteering in his headquarters. Nobody knew who I was. And I met a lot of people there, just as a high school student. And when I went to college, I went to American University in Washington. It just so happened that one of the people I worked for worked in the White House. And I got to work for a year in the White House in the Vice President's office, who was George Herbert Walker Bush. Got to fly around the country, and with him, we had a lot of travel in our office. So I've had a great experience, and but again, that's why I became a Republican. And now I think when you're looking around, this is going to be one of those years, and it's good that I'm here early, because this is, as mentioned, going to be a very contested. $100,000 in debt, college debt. They go into the job market, and they're finding out that none of the jobs are there or it doesn't make sense. I mean, the jobs that they get don't even pay your student debt, your student loans. So
That's a big problem. And I own a small business, I own a real estate brokerage business, and the biggest problem is, the reason why there aren't any jobs is because a lot of small business owners are afraid to hire anybody because there's, Obamacare is, a law that's going to end up costing businesses a lot more money. There are tax increases for small businesses coming. There's more regulations for small business. And a lot of small business, and the minimum wage is another issue that a lot of the small businesses are nervous about. So it ends up that, if a business is thinking of hiring a $50,000 a year job or creating one, a lot of the business owners will say, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't know what's coming next. And all of that indecision is really hurting people. So
Okay, Facebook just bought for like $15 billion from a guy that created it that was, that didn't get a job in Facebook. So now this guy went on, it's a perfect. So,
Well, I'm on Facebook, I'm on my website, if you want to just, sign up and follow us during the course of the campaign, and we'll probably, be saying it again. Thank you for.
and then one other thing that Charlie wanted to add.
Yeah, real fast, there are internship opportunities and opportunities to volunteer for the campaign. If you're interested in politics, you want to see a little bit more about how it works, it's a great opportunity. Our office is in Peabody, but we do a lot of stuff out here. So if you're interested, I'm just going to write the email address right down here, and you can just send an email, say, hey, I'm interested, and she'll send you back all the information you need.
They also have another office at the work. That's good. So.
All right.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here.